Hello everybody, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel Kalanati. Today I'm going to review Unquenchable Fire by Rachel Pollack. This book was published in 1988 and like a lot of the recent books I've been reviewing, it won the Arthur C. Clarke Award. This book is unlike any other fantasy novel I have ever read, probably because it is inspired by tarot, divination, spiritualism, and things like that, which makes a lot of sense when you know that Rachel Pollack is like a world expert in tarot. Unquenchable Fire is set in an alternate world where the spiritual, supernatural world has been revealed to the people in modern times. The fantastic is ordinary. Forces, spirits, demons, oracular dreams happen to everybody and people just take this for granted. It's also something like a religion. There are ceremonies and rites that everybody participates in. There are holy books and relics of the founders who were the men and women who ushered in this new era. There are also people called tellers who are the official storytellers of the pictures, which are these important stories rich with symbolism and meaning that are explained to people, much like parables. One day, an ordinary, unexceptional woman named Jennifer Masden falls asleep on the job, has a supernatural dream, and wakes up pregnant. This event is surrounded by portents, omens, and other significant events, and Jenny realizes that she is being used by an unknown power to bring a child into the world for unknown reasons, and she rebels in all the little ways that she can. I think the story is about one question. What would you do if you found out your entire life had been manipulated and arranged by an outside force to do something that you did not agree to and you don't understand? And it's very literally using your body. Ginny realizes this and justifiably freaks out about it a little bit. And this is what makes her a kind of frustrating and yet very rich character. She has had her agency in her own life removed and replaced by this outside agency. But does she still have agency as the protagonist of the novel? I would say yes, because she's aware of the problem, she's aware of what's happened to her, and she is trying to contradict the outside agency. She's trying to do the thing that she's not supposed to do, or to do things that aren't dictated by the agency. She has to question the motives of herself, but also everybody who's ever entered her life. Like, did her husband meet her, marry her, and then leave her because of her, or because that's what the agency wanted? Are people nice to her or mean to her? Did she get a job because of her, or because that's what the agency was doing to manipulate her into the right place at the right time? Ginny responds to her situation initially with complete denial and lack of will. She ignores her pregnancy until it is undeniable. She wavers back and forth about getting medical checkups or considering abortion until it's almost too late to do anything anyway. It does seem like her greatest form of rebellion against having her agency co-opted is to not do anything, to refuse everything, except trying to get her husband back. I loved it though. I really enjoyed Ginny's story, even though she could be very frustrating as a person. I think she was pretty relatable. For a lot of the book, she is tired, unmotivated, like she's going through life in this haze. Doesn't really have a direction, especially since her divorce. She really just doesn't have more energy than it takes to get through the day, to get through her job, and then come home and collapse. And I have certainly felt that way before, while knowing that I really need to get off my butt and take care of some of the bigger issues in life and not just ignore them entirely. Also in this book, interspersed with Jenny's story, are these excerpts from the pictures, those important stories and myths of the world. I didn't understand a lot of those stories because they are laden with imagery and symbolism, which I think is from tarot or spiritualism. I just didn't know how to interpret a lot of them, and they were some of the most bizarre parts of the book. But even though I didn't understand them, I think that They really gave this sense of depth and history to the world. Pollack has invented the parables of her world while telling the true story of what might be a new parable in the making. This book is weird though. I really have to stress that. It is truly strange and may not make a lot of sense if you've never read anything like it before and if you're not familiar with any of the inspirations like I am. It also doesn't help that the first 40 to 50 pages are really tough going. They really throw a lot of bizarre details out there with little explanation. It's a lot of like info dumping about the world, and also the first chapter doesn't even really address the main character Jenny. It goes off to tell a side story about a different person entirely, which is a little bit weird. But then by around the third chapter, it starts to hang together a bit better and it's much easier to read after that point. I'm not sure what else to say about Unquenchable Fire other than it's an odd duck, and Pollack made it work, which I was really impressed by. I could have easily been turned off by so many like outlandish ideas, but it worked because there's an internal sense of rhyme and reason. It's consistent internally, even if I didn't understand some of the elements of it. I think I would have to recommend this to people who want something unusual. If you're tired of the more popular or traditional forms of fantasy, this is guaranteed to be unlike anything you've read before. I don't think it's for everyone though. For many people it might just be a bit too much, but it is worth checking out. If you have read Unquenchable Fire, or maybe also its sequel, Temporary Agency, I would love to know what you think, and if you think I should continue on with the second book if it's as good as Unquenchable Fire was. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon, and until then, bye.